Hey, RetconRaider here. Before we get started, I'd just like to thank the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Revenant, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Matthew Holmquist, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Solasta, Crown of the Magister, or at least the latest early access build. For those of you just joining us, we have just killed our way through a group of strangely hostile laborers, and we are about to descend into the depths of the earth once more, in search of adventure, riches, and a severed head. So, you know, adventure stuff. Let's have a look around. Drops seem a bit modest, given the number of guards we just fought through. Locked. Sir? Oh, wow, he failed. Okay. Your breath? Huh. And such is the absurdity of the RNG. Myths of Solasta. An old book written in Dwarvish. Looks like a very minor renown item. Only a single faction wants it. Serpent tonight. That is quite a name. It has by many been observed that the major folks of old Solasta have in each case an affinity toward one of the classical elements. The ancient elves were unto air, the dwarves unto earth, and the halflings unto water. Though many others dispute this hypothesis, there are several compelling arguments in its favor, and such questions as remain unanswered may be considered insufficient to constitute a comprehensive and satisfactory refutation. The elves of the most ancient times were high elves without exception. The Sylvan breed came about from a schism among their people, which accompanied the founding of the Manichaean Empire. Some, dissatisfied with the firmness of its rule, and voicing many complaints of tyranny, withdrew themselves. Oh, and that is it. You know, I feel like they choose some very unusual spots to cut these lore entries at. I mean, look, I'm not expecting them to write an entire book for me, but stopping in mid-sentence, it does start getting silly at a certain point. Nothing particularly useful, but essentially the same gear we found on that dead fanatic. I wonder if that's supposed to be like a loot cache for a shape-shifted Sorak. Generic weapons cache. The longbow would be nice if we actually had someone who could use it. Okay, so we cannot go that way. Alright, looks like we are indeed headed into the depths of the earth. Oh, I suppose we should unencumber your breath before we head in there, too. That'll do. Now, we are headed into another dungeon, so things are likely to get a bit dark. For better or worse, Solasta is built pretty heavily around the whole illumination mechanic for exploration and combat. Last time I tried to use the darkness to our advantage, but this time we'll just fire up a couple of light spells. That should hopefully make it easier to actually see what's happening. Oh yeah, that does seem to help quite a bit. Who would have thought that light would make it easier to see things? Basic supplies. Nothing we really need, but I hate to leave it behind. Oh, hello there. Let's go have a chat with this guy.
Please don't kill me.
What are you doing here?
I'm just a worker.
Are you tattooed with an A?
You don't understand.
Are you one of them?
What of what? I'm just trying to survive. I had no choice.
Henrik, we found your brother. Also, you must die.
What does the tattoo signify?
It's... I can't...
Oh.
He's dead. How is that possible?
How is any of this possible?
He was doomed from the start.
Wow, okay. That's very, Curse of the Azure Bonds. I guess even acknowledging the mark is an instant death sentence. I suppose that would explain why the human laborers out front attacked us on sight. Oh, hey, worker's letter. I feel like they should have made it a bit more obvious we picked that up. A letter found on the corpse of a human worker near the ruined tower. The others have given up, but I can escape, maybe. I hope I can reach home before them. They would kill everyone. I know they would. They would kill my children without hesitation. They are pure evil. Yikes. So, families held hostage and branded with magic kill switches. I gotta say, that feels a little like overkill. I can't help but wonder if we could have actually helped that guy, but based on the description on the letter, I sincerely doubt it. Well, that seems odd. More, sideways architecture. Well then.
That was unexpected.
Magic. From a time long forgotten.
Remind me not to take a dump in that hole.
Do you really have to make jokes?
Yeah, it's in my contract. Did Karen not tell you?
Might be good to remember what these blue currents can do.
Noted, on all counts. Thank you, sir. It's great to have you along. You know, I suppose that could explain why the tower back at that keep didn't just collapse. I had a few people commenting on that. Aha! Hidden treasure. Slight pause, just to check for traps. Handy haversack. A creation of Erolimon Apisek. He ensured all green mages of the Kodumwarth on patrol had access to these. It's much more practical than it seems, and increases your carrying capacity by a lot. Fantastic. I don't remember this being there before. I suppose this is as good a time as any to note that the developers have stated they will be providing options for alternate encumbrance systems in the final game. At the moment, we're using their homebrewed Solasta encumbrance system. But in the final game, you'll also be able to choose rules as written, which is apparently much simpler. I believe that is 15 times strength equals carrying capacity. Or, if you don't want to deal with encumbrance at all, apparently you'll just be able to turn it off entirely. Though, I suppose that would gut at least a few of the core mechanics, such as the whole scavenger system. Recipe for crafting scrolls of Bane. Oh, and a prime dagger. We'll go ahead and equip the prime dagger, just to make sure I don't accidentally sell it. As for this, we'll go ahead and add it to our grimoire, but I don't really see us getting much use out of this. Oh yeah, I'd much rather put our limited Abyss Moss to use in mage armor scrolls. Still, I will give them full props for providing a variety of options. I'm always a fan of a decent crafting system. Okay, where do we go from... Ah, right. Library. Yes, this does seem like a good place for one. Hey, nice. Self-lighting torches. Convenient. I'm gonna say that's, slightly unusual. Like a 4 on the weird stuffometer.
What happens if you fall down there?
Wanna try?
Let's not do that. Not a great time to have crippling acrophobia.
Too easy.
This door is designed to be opened remotely.
Well, that didn't do a damn thing.
Did you really think that would open the door?
We need to be smarter about this. Think it through.
Interesting. Okay, so we have to power this somehow. Which probably has something to do with these. These very conspicuous magic circles that are just out of our reach. We do have a partial bridge here, but you can't actually jump diagonally in Solasta, so we would need to knock down that other pillar to create a T-junction, which means we actually need to approach this from the other side. That means our next goal is to get over here. We'll have to keep an eye on different levels of elevation, too. I'm sure we've got at least a couple of hidden chests. Gotta say, this map design is really cool.
Is this one of those rocks that...
Yes, I'm going to assume so. Also, we could not click over here for movement until we got past the arbitrary trigger zone for that cutscene. Oh yeah, and once again, because we cannot climb or jump diagonally, we'll need to fill that gap before we can actually climb up and get to that statue. I do appreciate Solasta's focus on three-dimensional movement, but it does come with its own idiosyncrasies. We've got something over there.
Heave-ho.
We could actually make this a whole lot easier with some jump spells, but I am a bit worried we'd inadvertently mess up the scripting.
Fancy.
She looks like an empress.
She doesn't bear the proper regalia. Not for a Manicalan. More likely she was a wizard, a master of the Arcaneum.
Could this have been her home?
Possibly.
Her bones are probably buried somewhere under all these frickin' books.
You're an idiot.
Wow, harsh. Though, it looks like the successful history check pulled some bonus XP. And some archaeological notes. Interesting. Notes about a possible Manicalan Master of Magic, based on a statue discovered in the ruined tower. Oh, cool. So, even just identifying ancient artifacts can create renown items, or notes in this case, that we can then sell to the factions back in town. That's a nice touch. Can't help but notice that the floating chunk of tile is conspicuously placed to block our jumping path. Though I do see a few other spots where we could theoretically jump across, if we really wanted to.
Interesting. It's in remarkable condition, considering how long it's been here.
Do you think it has magical properties?
A spellbook that predates the Cataclysm.
And I should care because...
Who knows what it might contain?
But it looks to be locked.
Take it. Perhaps someone in Caer Kiflin will know how to open it.
First things first. We have a mission to complete.
Fair enough. Actually, hold on. Okay, yeah, that's the exact same lore book we found outside. I don't think that's what we were supposed to get when we completed this event. But, as always, this is just an early access build, so I'm sure they'll fix that. These raised platforms are very conspicuous, and they are marked as spots we can walk on. Though I'm not sure how we'd actually get up there. I bet that's what the levitation spell is for. That was one of Istvan's options when he hit level 3. Hello there. How do we get you? Oh, wait a minute.
In the Badlands.
I know. Expect the unexpected.
Right, and then we've got platforms up top, so once we find our way up there, we can just walk across. Which means this pillar actually bridges the gap on the middle level. Though then, that begs the question of how you're supposed to get across to the bottom area, where that other chest is. I suppose you could drop down, but then you'd be stuck there. There's no obvious way back up. In fact, I think they placed this floating debris specifically to prevent the player from doing that. Crafting recipe, mystery potion, and an opal. Pretty sure that's a healing potion. Alright, let's regroup up top and have a look at that recipe. Whiteburn. That might be a poison recipe. Oh no, it's our first enchanting recipe. Pretty basic too. If we can actually find some blood of Solasta, we might be able to enchant something. Neat. While enchanting was actually in the previous early access build, it was very difficult to find a mana calling rosary, so I never got to experiment with it. We won't worry about the potion. I am almost certain it is a greater healing potion. That aside, we'll be able to auto-ID it once we hit level 4. Okay, let us continue. I would like us to get into at least one fight before we hit the pause button, but I'm not actually sure where the next one is. While I did play through this area once in the previous build, that was several months ago, and my memory is a bit hazy. Oh, okay. I figured they'd just collapse the unsteady segment. But that actually gives them access to that little ledge there.
You see that?
Is that a Sorak?
Don't be ridiculous. This is pre-cataclysm. Before anyone knew what a Sorak even was. It's a dragon.
It's no bigger than a man.
If you say so.
Yes, I too would be skeptical of that claim. But in light of what we read in that Myths of Solasta book, I suppose it would make sense. Dragons would fit into the fire slot, which was left conspicuously empty. Okay, so how do we get over there? We do not have a straight path, so we can't just jump across. Maybe up top? Okay, let's try this. Oh, nope, that's not what I wanted him to do. Alright, what's the range on Misty Step? 6 spaces. No, I think that's too far. I am honestly not sure how to get across. A fly spell maybe, but that would be level 5. Maybe if we could knock this down somehow. Oh, I'm going to have to ponder on that.
Are those webs?
Oh, okay. We can certainly take a hint. Different elevation levels means we need to fill that gap before we can climb. Let's head up here. Grab that other chest before I forget about it. Alright, I'll bite. What did that accomplish? Oh, it cleared our jump path. Now we can leap across here. Okay. Wow, you really do have to think three-dimensionally. There we go. Now we can reach the statue. And we can get up here. Oh, where we've got two chests. I think that's actually 3 wide. So, let's have Sir solo this part. Unfortunately, with strength as his dump stat and 0 points in athletics, Istvan is fairly limited in where he can actually get to without magical assistance. Besides, this should just be a pretty straightforward loot run. If we do end up running into something up here, then we'll just have Sir disengage and withdraw back to the party. Then we'll figure it out from there. Silver brooch, fancy. A couple of gold lockets. Ooh, what is almost certainly a +1 morning star, which unfortunately we are not really kitted to use. And a primed battle axe. Interesting. Alright, let's go for the second chest. We might actually be able to jump across from here. Though we would need jump and featherfall, so it would have to be Istvan. I think we could jump over here too, but I'm not sure why we'd want to. I don't see anything. I'll experiment with that off screen. I don't want to waste too much time on it now. Recipe for Scrolls of Fog Cloud. And a recipe for a Battle Axe of Acuteness. That's convenient. And a bunch of generic gear. Not too shabby. That chest vexes me. It vexes me. Hey, an actual use for all those brimstone scales we've been collecting. Not a big fan of Fog Cloud, though. Oh. Primed Great Axe for a Battle Axe of Acuteness. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that is not the intended recipe. To be fair, we would not get much use out of it either way. Now, if we could actually use that recipe to make a hand axe of acuteness, we'd be in business. I actually do think it would be a good idea for them to make those enchanting recipes a bit more flexible. In this case, for any type of axe, for example. It's always rough when you put together a custom character, or even a custom party, only to discover that your weapons of choice aren't really supported by the pre-programmed loot drops. Oh, and we've got a fight. That thing just took off half of Henrik's hit points in a single hit. What the heck is this thing? Dead Badland spiders somehow transformed into undead. Ghost spiders. That's new. Alright, alright. Fall back. Oh. I did not realize he was close enough to be threatened. Gonna have to be more careful here. It's just very disconcerting to not only face unfamiliar foes, but also ones who are attacking you from like 80 different angles. Okay, no obvious resistances on the ghost spider, though to be fair, force usually cuts through most defenses. Let's try this. No obvious resistance to slashing. AC is at least 14. Nice. Where? You know what? Let's get a better idea of where these things are. That did not help. They're everywhere. Seven damage, partially necrotic. Stop that. Nope. We're gonna go ahead and nope, sir, right out of there. I'm trying to lure them into spots where their loot will drop on even ground, and not into the void. Oh, shoot. Your breath is too short to reach the ghost spider. Really should have seen that coming. Well, there we go. Sorry about the ghost goo. Oh, okay. Huh.
Ugh.
Oh boy, Henrik's about to drop. And I was really hoping that railing would block the spiders on that side. I guess not. And I meant to use his bonus action, not his standard. Gotta take a step back here. Alright. Ghost Spider's almost dead. The first one didn't drop anything. Let's go ahead and wipe the second one. Good. Good. Oh, and there we go. Gotta say, that was, surprisingly harrowing. Especially after how easy the, some of those earlier fights were. Lots of spider sacks. Gross. And let's, take a quick short rest before we go tempt fate any further. All right. That, obviously does not get us back to full strength, but it does at least keep us on the board. Let's keep moving.
Another statue.
These guys really love themselves.
Oh, so we still got notes on that, but we did not get bonus XP. Notes about a statue of Leroynukenson, the last emperor of Manakalan. This means the tower was active when the cataclysm struck. Seems a bit odd that we still get that info. But I guess it's not a big deal. We have a third circle down below.
All these books floating around, and I can't grab them.
More ingredients. Silver comb. Oh, and a magnificent dagger. Again, almost certainly a +1 weapon. Wow, they really did boost the amount of loot you find in these early missions.
What kind of runes are those?
Enchanted runes. From the ancient Imperial period. It is said that they had 8 schools of magic. Each is represented here. All as equals. This place is astounding.
Yeah, you can tell that to the Soraks right before they cut us to bloody pieces.
Ah, okay. Walk on circles. Seems simple enough.
Stepped on some magical rune. I guess there's a reason for that. Oh, nothing. Very funny.
You say so?
Found one.
Interesting. Right, and we've got the last 2 in sight, so let's go tag those.
Another one here.
Good work.
When the orb burst up in the middle of the circle, it blasted Henrik out of the way. Sorry, buddy.
We did it!
Was that insane puzzle the work of some long-dead Manicalan wizard?
Probably. Even from the tomb, that magical arsehole is messing with us.
Good. Great to have you along, sir. In fact, I've got to say, this whole party is really growing on me. At any rate, we're past time. We've obviously secured our access to the next area. I think we're at a pretty good breaking point here. So, let's hit the pause button. I'm going to do some off-screen testing to see if we can reach those other areas we passed earlier. And we will pick up here next time. Who knows what horrors await us in those inky black tunnels? Probably Soraks. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Solasta, Crown of the Magister, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube and Twitch channels, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. As always, links are in the description.
Remind me not to take a dump in that hole.